We have some absolutely crazy, unbelievably shocking news here. So, of course, Michael Cohen has been under a shit ton of hot water as of late. Of course, it sort of started out with the whole 130K, basically a hush deal, an NDA with Stormy Daniels. Now we're going to be going over here because there's basically, Cohen entered a plea deal, so he pleaded guilty, and then we're also going to be talking about Paul Manafort, who was successfully convicted of 8 of 18 charges pressed. So first, let's get into the Cohen one. This one is a lot more significant, and I will explain to you why. But this article says Michael D. Cohen, President Trump's former fixer, pleaded guilty on Tuesday to breaking campaign finance laws and other charges. He made the extraordinary admission that he arranged payments to 2 women, quote, at the direction of the candidate, referring to Mr. Trump, to secure their silence about affairs that they had with Mr. Trump. It says Mr. Cohen told a judge in the United States District Court in Manhattan that the payments were, quote, for the principal purpose of influencing the election for president in 2016. So that's where this is really big. So he admitted to doing these donations at the direction of President Trump, or these non-disclosure agreements for the purpose of influencing the election at the direction of President Trump. Remember how we knew the Stormy Daniels thing, we already knew about that one, that was very clear. But there was also rumor that there was one with Karen McDougal as well, who I think was like a Playboy model, I think. And so it's, he pleaded guilty to actually doing it with both of them, not just Stormy Daniels. So that's obviously something interesting as well. However, what's the most significant thing about this? This means that Trump has potentially broken campaign finance laws. So this is something that can be, I don't know if it's going to bring Trump down. It's definitely, we have clear criminal charges, I guess, that he has done in breaking these finance laws with the non-disclosure agreement. So remember that the whole idea was, Cohen did it out of, his love for President Trump. And as I said before, that idea is such bullshit. If you believe that, you are an insanely stupid person. Because if you think somebody who's the attorney of Trump, when Trump has all this money, or he claims to have all this money, and then you're going to just donate $130,000 out of your pocket to do this non-disclosure agreement, yeah, fucking right. It was done at the direction of Trump, so it's very clear now. So that can actually end up fucking Trump. Will it happen? I don't know. We're going to see what happens, because obviously whether or not you can indict a sitting president, there's still a question mark on that. So we're not really sure. But they also go on here to say, Mr. Cohen also pleaded guilty to multiple counts of tax evasion and bank fraud, bringing to a close a months-long investigation by Manhattan federal prosecutors who examined his personal business dealings and his role in helping to arrange financial deals with women connected to Mr. Trump. It says the plea came shortly before another blow to the president. His former campaign manager, Paul Manafort, was convicted in his financial fraud trial in Virginia. The special counsel built a case that Mr. Manafort had millions of dollars in foreign accounts to evade taxes and lied to banks to obtain $20 million in loans. It says in Manhattan, Mr. Cohen made the admission about President Trump's role in the payments to an adult film actress and a former Playboy playmate as he pleaded guilty to 2 campaign finance crimes. One of these charges stemmed from a $130,000 payment he made to the adult film actress Stephanie Clifford, who's better known as Stormy Daniels, in the run-up to the 2016 presidential election. The other concerned a complicated arrangement in which the tabloid bought the rights to the story about former Playboy model Karen McDougal, then killed it. So there was that story as well that there was. And then it also goes on to talk about Cohen's plea deal and charges. It says the guilty plea in Mr. Cohen's statement in court represented a pivotal moment in the investigation into the president. A once loyal aide admitting that he made payments at the behest of the president to shield him from politically damaging disclosures. So this is definitely going to hurt Trump. The question is, how much is it going to hurt Trump? Here's the thing. Electorally, I don't think this hurts Trump. And here's why. I think that anybody who's already a Trump supporter is not going to turn back now because of what they're seeing here. They don't really give a fuck. In their mind, oh, this is just another day, you know, at the dog park for these people. You know, or you say, oh, Hillary was worse. So this isn't going to make a difference electorally. The only thing is, you know, actually building an impeachment possible case or somehow, some way of indicting a sitting president, which again, there's a huge question mark on. You know, there are those two different questions. But now let's move on to Paul Manafort's situation, because he's convicted on 8 counts while mistrial was declared on 10 others. So 8 out of 18 charges he was actually convicted on. Now this article says, a jury has found former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort guilty on tax and bank fraud charges, a major, if not complete, victory for special counsel Robert Mueller as he continues to investigate the president's associates. The jury convicted Manafort on 8 of the 18 counts against him and said it was deadlocked on the other 10. U.S. District Court Judge T.S. Ellis declared a mistrial on those charges. Manafort stood impassively, his hands folded in front of him, and showed little reaction as the clerk read the word guilty 8 separate times. As through most of the 3-week trial, Manafort showed no apparent emotion as he looked at the 6 women and men who convicted him. President Trump reacted to the verdict by denouncing the Mueller investigation. Here's what Trump said. He said, quote, "It doesn't involve me. It's a very sad thing," the president said after arriving in West Virginia for a political rally, adding that the Manafort case, quote, "has nothing to do with Russian interference in the 2016 election." It's just funny to me that, you know, their defense is that, oh, it didn't have anything to do with Russia. They're guilty on these charges that they have been convicted of, but hey, you know, it had nothing to do with the Russian investigation. So I'm very, very ecstatic about these people, about Manafort, about Cohen being convicted on crimes that they have committed. Crimes that they have committed. I am happy, because otherwise these douchebags would just get away with it because there wouldn't be enough scrutiny or enough of a, you know, actual prosecution to get them in jail for the crimes that they have done. And so I'm very happy that this has happened.